Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Thryss if you are new, and if you are a returning Stitchy, welcome back. I am super happy to have you. Stitchy is what I call my subscriber family here on YouTube. So today is my very first stitch tutorial, and I am very proud of myself and super excited. So I like texture a lot. As a almost totally blind girl, I really love texture. And so texture and lace will be a lot of what my stitch tutorials are. So this is called the Swingy Ribbon Grid. Now I'm sure this goes by a lot of different names, and I think I called it a lot of different things in the tutorial. But you know how it is, stitches go by lots of different names. I think this is called a wrap double crochet cluster, maybe, or triple crochet cluster, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this stitch. This stitch is done in multiples of 8 plus 3, and it's really easy. So let's get started. Okay, so this is the Swingy Ribbon Grid, which I think is kind of a fabulous name. It's different. You may know this by some other stitch name. Stitches are like that. They'll have 4 or 5 different names, but this is what I know it by. So, okay, this stitch is done in a multiple of 8 plus 3. So I'm going to have 27 because I'm going to do 24 as my multiple plus 3. And for anybody who is curious, because I'm sure I get it in most videos, the hooks I'm using are from Nelson Wood hooks. I will link his website in the description box below. So when I do my foundation chain, I always do it with a full size up from whatever hook I'm going to be using, because my foundation chain always bows because it's so tight. So just a little tip. So I'm going with a 6.5 hook. Okay, so okay, so I am now going to switch to my other hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. Alright, and we are going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook and in every stitch after. So keep in mind that your stitch is not the loop on your hook. Your stitch is the one after that. So we're going to skip this one, and we're going to go into this stitch right here, and we are going to single crochet. Sorry, this is very new to me, and I am almost totally blind, so I am actually doing this through my phone, which is super fun. So I will be giving little tidbits to those who are visually impaired, or I think it will help beginners as well. So hopefully some of these little tidbits will be helpful. But you are going to put a single crochet in every single stitch, and I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, so we've made it to the end of our row, and whatever your starting chain was, so my multiple was 24, 8, 16, 24, plus 3 is 27. You'll have 1 stitch less than whatever you started with. So I started with 27, I have 26 now. Okay, so we are going to start row 2 by chaining 4. Now, if you're like me, I don't typically start rows out with chains unless it's just a chain 1, just to be able to turn. I will usually do a standing double or a standing half double in place of a chain like this, when the chain is taking the spot of the first stitch. I can do a video on that, but for now, this is how we're going to do it. So this is taking the place of a treble crochet of this stitch. So we are going to now skip to the 5th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are going to treble crochet into that stitch. So you insert your hook, so you yarn over twice, you insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay. Now you yarn over twice again, and you are going to count back 3 stitches. So make for sure you're not working into this first stitch. You're going to go behind your treble and insert into that stitch. Now I find it helpful to flip over my work and look at it from the back to make sure I'm in the right spot. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over twice again, and you're going to spread that apart, and you're going to locate that next skipped stitch and go into it and do another treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Oh, that tail always gets me. Okay. And you're probably going to have to spread this apart a little bit because that stitch is kind of hiding in there between those 2 stitches. What I like to do, and for those who are new or visually impaired, this might be a tip that helps you, I like to turn my hook towards my fingers, towards the back of my work. And when I locate that stitch, I like to hook it with my hook. That way it doesn't slide off, I don't lose it or anything like that. I found it, so I hooked it. Now I've turned it over, and I am doing my last treble. So you will see that we have 3 trebles wrapped with a treble in the front. Alright, so you're going to chain 1, yarn over twice, and you're going to go in this very next stitch. Now, if you have trouble locating stitches, you can do it by feel. So it can be confusing with these wrapped stitches because there's no stitch above it, no discernible stitch above it. So if you're feeling in there, you can feel off to the side here that there's 2 loops coming into that stitch. That's how you know you've already worked into it. So you're going to go into the next stitch, and in this stitch and the next 2 stitches after it, you're going to work a treble. Let me... Okay. If this is too close, you guys can let me know below. This just works for me, where I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so we've worked 3 treble crochets. Now we are going to yarn over twice, and we are now going to wrap these, but this time we're going in the front. So you're going to go back to that stitch that your previous wrap came from, and you're going to go back into that stitch in front of those 3 trebles that you just did. So you're going in front of it, you're going into that stitch, and you're going to grab your working yarn from behind and bring it up. Now I like to bring it up nice and tall because you don't want to cinch your work. It'll get all puckered. And then what you can do, because sometimes these can be harder to work in, you can just hold it flat with your thumb. Forgive me if there's dye on my fingers. I dye yarn, so it gets under my nails sometimes. And then you just finish off your treble crochet. Okay, so you have worked a full set. Alright, now we're going to yarn over twice again, and we are going to go from this stitch that we worked in, we're going to skip 4 and work into the 5th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working into the 5th stitch, and we are working a treble crochet. Okay, then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do what we did before. Now it might be a little more tricky this time, but don't worry, you got it. So you're going to find the stitch that you worked into, and you're going to count back 3. You will be having a skip stitch between where you're working in and where you previously worked in. So find that stitch you worked in and count back 3. You're going to go behind your work and enter into that stitch, and then flip it over so you can see it from behind and work that treble crochet. Then you are going to find your next skipped stitch, and you're going to work that one. You guys are hearing my doggies. I'm a doggy mom and a human mom. Sorry. And like any man, they have a terrifyingly loud sneeze. Okay. Everything I could. You're fine. So we are real people, real family. Okay. So then that last stitch, like I said, it's a little tricky to get to. Just wiggle it around till you pull it forward. And then you're going to finish out that final treble for this wrap cluster. Okay, so you're going to chain 1, and you're going to find the stitch that you just worked in, and in the very next one, I'm sorry about all the sound, guys, you are going to work a treble in that stitch and in the next 2 stitches. Okay. So now you're going to yarn over twice, and you're going to come in front of these stitches and go into that stitch that your other wrap stitch came out of. Grab your working yarn from behind and bring it up nice and tall so we don't cinch our work. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the final 2. Okay, now you've made 2 sets. I'm going to work one more set with you and then let you go to the end of the row. So what I want to bring your attention to is in between these sets. So this one and this one is a set. This one and this one is a set. Between each set, you're going to chain 1, but you're not going to skip 1. In between the sets themselves, you are not going to chain 1, but you are going to skip 1. So in between, inside of the set, you're going to chain 1 but not skip 1. In between the sets, you are not going to chain 1 and you are going to skip 1. I hope that helps. I know that can be confusing. Just rewind. So we are in between sets now. We're starting a new set. So we're going to skip this stitch. So we are going to go 5 stitches away from the one that we just got done working in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to work a treble into that stitch. Okay. Now we are going to go back and we are going to work a treble into the next 3 stitches. So boom, boom, boom. And this right here is the stitch that we are skipping. This is the stitch that we had worked in previous. So you're going to come behind and you're going to work a treble into this and the next 2 skip stitches. Okay, and then we are at our final one. So you've got to wiggle, wiggle to locate it. Make sure you're going into that stitch and not the wrap stitch. And then work your treble. We're going to chain 1 because we're in the middle of our set. Yarn over twice. Locate that wrap stitch we worked into, and in the very next stitch and the 2 stitches following, work a treble crochet. So you're going to work 3 treble crochets. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to untangle our yarn and untangle a knot. Okay. We're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to come in front of these 3 stitches and go into the stitch that our previous wrap stitch came out of. We're going to go in there, come around back, and as SpongeBob says, bring it around town. And we're going to finish that wrapped treble. Okay, so you keep going until you reach the end of your row and then join me. So we are at the end of this row, and you should have 2 stitches remaining. So this is the stitch that we just came out of. So 2 stitches remaining. This stitch right here technically is counting for the wrapped stitch. So we're going to do a treble in the final stitch. Okay. So there we are. Cute. All right. So we are going to chain 1. Does not count as a stitch. And we are going to put 1 single crochet in every single stitch. We are not putting a single crochet in the chain spots. So your stitch count should be the same as what your single crochet stitch count was before. So mine is going to be 26. Now, to help you, when you're working in double and treble crochets from the previous row, when you're working back and forth like we are, the stitch that you're going to be working in will be to the left of the post of the stitch. So we know this is the right stitch to work in right here because it's to the left of the post. I know that seems simple, but honestly that was something that gave me a lot of grief when I first started. We are not going to be working into this chain space. So we're going to skip over here and we're going to work into the next treble. And we are going to do 1 single in every single stitch. Now these ones that are wrapped like this, you know, just pull them apart, take your time. And this is between the sets. This is not a chain space. This is the wrapped treble. So you will put that one there. So you're not putting one in the chain space between, in the middle of the sets. You're just putting it in every single treble across. And I will meet you at the end. Okay, so we're here at the end of row 3, and this is what it looks like. So this is your wrapped treble, and then we are going to put a single crochet in the top of that chain 4 space. If you did a standing half double, it will look a lot neater than this, and you'll be able to easily see where it goes in. So this is what it should be looking like. My Frenchie is playing with his piggy toy. Okay, so row 3 was the beginning of your repeat. So we're going to do the swingy ribbon grid one more time. This will be your second row of the repeat. So you're going to chain 4. Oh, for heaven's sake. There we go. And turn your work. Going to yarn over twice, and you are going to skip to the 5th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are going to work a treble crochet. Go behind your work and work a treble crochet. Oops, I'm not in both. Alright, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3. We're going to go behind. There we go. And we're going to work a treble in each of those 3 skip stitches. Okay. Go behind, get in that second. 2, 3. And then wiggle that apart and find that stitch. Okay, so we have our first half of a set. We're going to chain 1, yarn over twice, and in the next stitch and in the following 2 stitches we're going to work a treble crochet. So we're going to be working 3 treble crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to come in front of those 3 stitches and go into the one that our previous wrap came out of. Bring it around town, pull it up nice and tall in front of those stitches, and then finish off a treble. All those snorts are it's my Frenchie Gizmo. Okay, so we're going to yarn over twice, and we are going to go into the 5th chain again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and work our treble. Okay, and then come behind and count 3 of the skip stitches. 1, 1, 2, 3. Flip our work so we can see what we're doing. In time, I think I will be able to not be so close to the camera as I get used to this. So, and feel free to leave in the comments below any stitches you would like to have me do. I'd be more than happy to. Okay, so we did those. We're going to chain 1. I'm going to finish off this cluster and then let you guys go to the end of the row. If you don't know what to do, feel free to rewind and rewatch. Okay, so we're going to work 3 trebles. We chained 1 and we're going to work 3 trebles. And then we are going to yarn over twice, come back into that stitch that our previous wrap came out of, bring it around town, pull it up nice and tall, and finish off. So your next thing to do is going to be to skip 4 stitches, work in the 5th stitch, and then you will go behind it and treble crochet in the next 3 stitches. You'll chain 1, do not skip 1, treble in the next 3, and then wrap it back around in that stitch that you had the other wrap coming out of. And just keep doing that. Feel free to rewind, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so our lighting has changed. I apologize. So we're at the end of our row. You should have 2 stitches left. So here's a stitch we worked out of, and then 2 stitches. That last stitch is really funky looking, kind of. That's why I don't like to do the stitches, the chains like that. But it is what it is. So we're going to skip this stitch and work a treble into our last stitch. And that is how you finish off this row. So your next row is going to be the single crochet row. You're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch across. You are not working in the chain stitches, just the trebles. So you should maintain the same stitch count throughout. I suggest ending on a single crochet row. Makes it nice and neat. And depending on what you make out of this, you could put like a single crochet border up the sides to kind of make it neater, unless you're doing the standing double or half double. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give me suggestions below of other stitches you would like to see me do. I'd be more than happy to. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Stay safe and stay weird, my friends.